Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for stopping by and just checking out what I've been up to with collecting horror movies and books, etc. I'm gonna go ahead and knock this update out of the way while I can. I'm still waiting on one book. That's that new Fright Fest guide. That's volume 6 that covers vampire films. I love that series of books, just the way they make them. It just makes for an easy page turner, how it's all laid out, and then some of the imagery that they chose to put in those books. It's been fun so far, so that's definitely a series I want to just keep up with. Like I said, I ordered that one. It dropped October 12th. I guess they chose snail mail. They did give me a tracking number, but it doesn't list locations. It only gives me like a timestamp. So I really can't tell when that's going to hit my doorstep. So I'll just have to show that book in my next book haul, whenever that'll be. But yeah, I definitely a big fan of the Fright Fest Guide series of books. Those are awesome. So yeah, volume 6, waiting on that one. But I'll show you what I do have in. So here we go. First up, I needed volume 1. I enjoyed volume 3, which covers the 80s. I knew I would. I made a few notes off of that one. I still need to get volume 2, which is through the 70s. But volume 1 here, the Italian Gothic horror films from 1957 through 1969. Got a good deal on this one. Actually on Amazon this time. Usually I got volume 3 on eBay. Made a few notes on this one as far as to revisit a few that I've actually have in my collection, but haven't gotten around to watching. So reading a few pages from this book definitely made me jump on a few this month, and made it that much more enjoyable. But very cool. I love how this one's laid out, and it does reward you here and there with some cool poster art. All black and white. That's okay. It's beautiful. It's kind of fitting, really, for it to be covering the older films. So big fan of this series of books. Just 3 volumes that I'm aware of. I imagine if they did one through the 90s, it'd be a very small book. That's my guess. But yeah, now I have volume 2 to try and hunt down if I can. So really cool. Here's the spine on that. The synopsis on the back. It's a really nice book, and I love the cover art that they chose for this one. So if they ever did one from the 90s, even if it turns out to be a really small book, which I'm sure it would be, I'd be interested in that as well. It'd be like a volume 4, right? So anyway, volume 1, I have volume 1 and 3. Now I just need to track down volume 2. The 70s. Can't skip out on the 70s. There's you got Barbara Steele and Black Sunday. All-time classic. One of the best. So give you guys an overall idea what to... There's horror. Blanchful Monster, which we just got that in by Arrow. Beautiful edition. Where's that at? There we are. We'll write up on that one. Cool. So that's that. Next is a big fan of the ones that cover the more modern stuff. I've made a few notes off of this one as well, and ordered a few movies that I didn't have in my collection. Ones that I actually seen but weren't crazy about, but when reading this, I was like, you know what, I need to give that a second chance. So I did order a few movies, DVD only as of now, but that's okay. I didn't have them in my collection, so better to have a copy than no copy. But this one is the Urban Terrors New British Horror Cinema, 1997 through 2008. M.J. Simpson. And I managed to discover a few more British horror cinema books that cover the more recent years past 08. So because of, I didn't even know about this book, so I just recently discovered this one. So right after I discovered this one, I found out a few more other books that cover the more modern horrors. That's the ones I'm trying to look for, and I want, just to to revisit. I probably have them in my horror collection, but I just want to revisit some of the newer stuff. 'Cause sometimes I get in a habit of watching the same stuff over and over just because it's like, I guess you can call it like comfort food. So this kind of book helps me to sort of break that habit and like revisit other movies that I've had on my shelf for quite some time, and I've either watched once, thought it was okay, or just haven't gotten around to yet. So this book has definitely been helpful for me. And I've made a few notes thanks to this one, and discovered a few more other books thanks to this book here. So yeah, I found this one on eBay for a really good deal, and I had to jump on it. So quite a few of these movies I have, but like I said, I've either watched once, and or I just haven't gotten around to watching, that have made me check them out for the first time. The Bunker, that's a good one. My Little Eye, I'm still in the middle of the road with that one, but again, getting this book, I ended up ordering a copy of that movie to revisit since it had been years. So, and I just love the way this book is laid out. It's a fun one. And there are some I've never even heard of, you know. So yeah, really good find. I am pleased with this one. Here's what the back looks like. Cradle of Fear, that's a good little movie. I like that one. That one's still on DVD. At least here in the States, has not made the leap onto Blu-ray yet. I imagine it will, like everything else has so far. So that's that. Next is volume 8 of the, I've really grown to like these books. At first, when I got volume 1, I was like, I don't think I'm going to continue because I wasn't used to how it's, let me see if I can carefully, there's a lot of like nudity and whatnot, so I got to be careful here on YouTube. Hold on, let me see. I'll show you what I'm talking about with these. Just how it's written, I'm just not a big fan of the this style, so I wasn't sure if I was going to continue on with collecting this series of books, but I've gotten used to it, and these are actually really enjoyable. So this is the latest from the series, volume 8. There's still a few I still need to get my hands on, but slowly getting around to catching up with this series. So really cool, loaded with interesting facts and whatnot. Got this one in not too long ago, so I haven't had a chance to fully dive into this one, but really cool. You can see some of the movies that gets covered in here. A healthy mix of exploitation, sleaze, and some drive-in horror stuff, as you can see. It's really cool. Big fan of the Fab Press publication. They always do an amazing job. The quality is always top-notch. I wish I could flip through here. Maybe I can do it a little bit without... hold on, guys. Let me see. It's drawings, but I don't know. YouTube is just so sensitive with some of this stuff. Here we go. Anyway, I am glad I had a change of heart and want to continue with picking these up. Like I said, I just wasn't, at first when I got volume 1, I just was like, but I've come around, and these are actually really fun now that I've read volume 1 and 2. yeah, so yeah, I'm a big fan of these. So yeah, Cinema Sewer Volume 8. Next is another one that is a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of this style of horror cinema book, where it's just how it's laid out. That's just what that's what I'm used to, and that's what I grew up with, is getting these kind of books that's laid out in this way here. Yeah, I love that. I love the way it's broken down with each chapter. So it's the Horror 333 Films to Scare You to Death. And as I expected, there are a few that I still do not have in my collection. I haven't seen that I definitely want to ASAP. So this is another book that's been very helpful for me. Here's the back. There's the spine. And I had just grabbed a copy of course, it talks about Peeping Tom. I had just grabbed a copy of that not too long ago. But yeah, I love how this book is broken down. I love my books to be done this way. Give like a nice brief synopsis, a few facts here and there. And yeah, really good. Good stuff. I remember I was excited to finally add that movie into my horror collection. That was another one that I had just years and years and years, and then finally got a copy added onto the shelf, and finally watched it, and yeah, I love that movie. That was another good one to finally mark off the wish list. And there are, like I said, there is, I think, 4 in this book that I still have not seen. But pretty cool. And 2 that I don't have physical copies of. Deathline, that's a good one. Yeah, also known as Raw Meat. I love that one. Crazies in the Sewers. It's a British movie, if I remember. Yeah, from the UK. Yeah, that's a cool movie. The Stone Tape. That one needs to be rescued from obscurity. That's a good one. That's one of the ones that, yeah, I don't have, that I would love to get. I think that's a made-for-TV movie, if I remember correctly. It's also from the UK. Is this... I think this is... No, it's both US, UK, and other countries. Don't Look in the Basement. That's good stuff. So a lot of these, I mean, you guys have heard and you've known about, and you love. But there are a few little hidden gems, like the one, like the Stone Tape. That, ooh, that's another one that I had recently discovered a few years back. I absolutely enjoyed that little eerie movie right there. Yeah, there's a few little gems here that are just, have not been rescued, that are just quote-unquote lost. But hopefully we'll get those movies in a nice collector's edition. But yeah, really cool book. I recommend this one. It's a fun one. I just love the way it's laid out and good quality. Who is this from? I don't know. CarltonBooks.co UK. Okay. Really cool. So Horror, 333 Films to Scare You to Death. And I don't know when this one came out. It's an older book, but it's a good one. Recommend that one if you don't have this one in your... I'm way behind, late to the party, but better late than never. So if you don't already have this one in your collection, I imagine a lot of you do, definitely go for it. That's a good one. I like those style of books. All right, now we're getting into some horror comics. Went after another EC Archive Library series one. This one is the cover they're using for this one. And I don't know what, there's so many volumes. I don't know which volume this one is. It is listed online, but as far as it being on the actual book, the number's just not there, so I can't remember which one this one is. But anyway, The Thing from the Grave and Other Stories, illustrated by Joe Orlando. And I love the imagery on this one. Very cool, very spooky and classic. And this is a nice, I'm definitely a fan of this library series. There's just a ton of them, and it's going to take me forever. I don't want every single one of them, just the ones that have, which is most of them, the horror stories. That's beautiful. There's a write-up here on the back. And I'll just kind of flip through this as best I can for you guys. Only, as of now, I just have 3 of these. This is the 3rd one I've picked up. I'm going way out of order. It's just whatever I can, which one just catches my eye and is for a good price, I just jump on them. So I'm way out of order with these. Forbidden Fruit. That's cool. If you guys want to let me know if you do collect this EC Archives library series, which ones you think I would be into and should check out, please feel free to school me on these, because yeah, I'm just going in blind on some of these. So a few of these stories I've already been familiar with thanks to collecting some other series, EC horror comics. But yeah, I'm a newbie with a lot of these. So, but I'm enjoying discovering a lot of these stories that I just never knew about. And yeah, just trying to find them for a good deal when I can. So very addicted to these, and they're a lot of fun. So, and they're really nice, good quality. So I feel like you got your hard-earned money's worth for sure when you get these. So had to get that. That's beautiful. All right, that's that one. All right, this one I got my money back because it was not in near mint condition. So I got my money back, and I've got another copy along the way. But I'll go ahead and show you this one. This one, it wasn't so much this being dinged up. I was fine with that. It's just the spine itself is sort of really in bad condition, which actually I was fine with that. Well, not bad condition. It was just a little loose, which I'm okay. I was still okay with that. It wasn't until I got to the very end where I'm like, it's missing several pages back here. So that pissed me off. This is not what I would call near mint or great condition. So I did get my money back from the seller, and I'm waiting for another copy to hit my doorstep. So that's actually 2 books I'm waiting on. But yeah, this is not acceptable. So I don't know what these pages, if it's just basically end credits as far as, you know, illustration and all that. I don't know, but yeah, that's not acceptable. And I paid I think it was like $30-something for this. So anyway, this is one that I didn't have. I'm trying my best to collect that series, and this was just one of them I didn't have, and the seller just wasn't honest. So, but I did get my money back from the seller, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, this is Horror by Heck. I love the the design on that. It's really cool. But yeah, it's missing quite a few pages back there. It looks to be 3 to 4 pages. That's quite a bit. So I was not happy about that. Anyway, so I'll be getting another copy of this one. And I'm almost done with collecting this series. So as you can see, the pages, like how it's like really loose. But yeah, that's not what I would call near mint condition when this is going on. Yeah. So I mean, it happens. You know, it goes with collecting anything. You know, you collect something that's from secondhand. You know, it's gonna happen. But at least I got some money back on that. So anyway, I'm in love with this series. Very addicted to it. The Chilling Archives of Horror Comics. Again, Horror by Heck. There's the spine number on this one. If it'll show up, 13. There's some information about the artist, about what it went on. Cool. So I'll just set that aside, actually. And then this one just came out recently and is amazing. I highly recommend this book for anybody who's, and I'm sure that's pretty much like 99.9% of you, interested with the special effects and what goes on behind the scenes. It covers a lot of artists, and it's got just loaded with illustrations and, yeah, behind the scenes special effects. Amazing. I'd probably just do one video on just this one book. Just a fun, what you'd call a coffee table book. From classic stuff to the more modern. Rick Baker. A whole segment on Rick Baker, which is awesome. I love these books that cover dozens and dozens of artists. And that's what this one does. Oh man, that's awesome. Very cool. Legendary Dick Smith. Hopefully you guys can see that. But I highly recommend this book. I wasn't sure at first when I placed a pre-order because it didn't have many pictures of it, and I couldn't find anything on Instagram. I'm sure there is someone who's who's done work with this book that has probably posted several pictures, but I went in blind on ordering this book, and I'm glad I did. It's just loaded, and it's very inspiring. Whenever I get around to playing around with some clay and I need something to get inspired by, it's definitely one of those books to look at and learn from and get some ideas off of. And yeah, especially if there's a particular monster I want to try and make, and I need yeah, I just need more examples, like something like that. I can just look at that. I don't have to print out anything online, and these books are perfect for that. Pan's Labyrinth. That's awesome. Stan Winston goodness. The first Terminator is the best one. I mean, part 2 is a lot of fun, but I like the first Terminator because it's just so dark, and for me, it's sci-fi horror, and yeah, Arnold just made for a great villain. And it's interesting reading up on the first Terminator, how it was originally scripted as a slasher. Like even some of the artwork for it, the promotional art, has the robot holding a knife, and a few things have gotten changed in the write-up or something like that. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've read up on it. But the fact that it had started out as a slasher, a sci-fi sort of slasher idea, is interesting. And it does have those slasher elements in it. Really cool. John Carl Beegler. Just another awesome artist. The late great John Carl. Part 7. That's one of the best looking Jasons. Or the best, really, if I'm being honest. I love the look of Part 3. But yeah, Part 7 Jason looks awesome. Little Tom Savini from Dusk Till Dawn. Awesome makeup effects right there. Yeah, I mean, I can almost going on 30 minutes here, but yeah, this is an amazing, this is a fun book. I think this one came out, in October. Either that or it came out in September. I don't remember. I think this was like early October, late September. Here's the spine. So Masters of Makeup Effects, Howard Berger and Marshall Julius, or Berger, sorry. Century of Practical Magic. Good stuff. All right, guys, that's the book haul for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe I showed a book that you didn't know about, and that you know about now. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this update. Thanks for stopping by and checking out what I've been up to with collecting, and I'll see you guys with another collection update soon here. Try and knock them out. So later. Take it easy.